The title of Elizabeth's speech today is From Feds to Few, a Discovery. Welcome up, Elizabeth.
Toastmaster members and guests, from Feds to Few, a Discovery. My name is Elizabeth Welsh. Before I was asked to write the speech, I'd never really thought about who am I. For me, most of my enjoyment and happiness comes from we, not I. Preparing the speech has been quite a discovery. I guess I am loud, opinionated, and sometimes outspoken, but I hope that people also see me as loyal, a good listener, good at my job, someone they can trust. Oh, and I like wine. I was born 21st November 1957. I was the fifth of 7 children to Adolphus and Clara de Silva. Well, at least I thought I was. 23 years ago, I read my father's death certificate and noticed that there were 8 surviving children on the bottom of the document. And I asked my mother about this, and she forbade me to try and find, it turned out to be Rona. And it took me 2 years before I was able to find her, and we became very close friends. When I was 11, we moved from Glen Innes to a farm in Taupaki, which was about half an hour from Auckland City. All my older brothers and sisters had moved out by this time, and there was just my sister Rosalind, my brother Leonard, my mum and dad, my uncle Ross, and my grandmother. I remember my parents bought me a horse. Her name was Trixie. And Trixie was quite headstrong, and she used to like to gallop down a hill, and she would stop at the bottom very fast. And another trick she had was she would run through under the trees, and I'd be on the side. She never actually got me off, but after a year, she and I became very good friends, and she used to do anything that I wanted. Just hand that up. The photo is of me, my younger sister, and my younger brother. 5 minutes after that was taken, my brother leant over, my sister followed, and I followed, and we were on the ground. I was always Daddy's girl. Dad and I would go down the farm and we'd fix the fences, we'd look after the animals. But sadly he died when I was 13, and I was devastated. My family's nickname for me was Elizabethan, and that was because I would sometimes throw things at people if they annoyed me. And unfortunately, I stopped a few years ago. By the time I left home, I was known as the organiser in the family. I was the one who organised the Christmas party. I'm not sure if I was a born organiser, or if I actually just didn't want to be by myself for Christmas dinner. I met my husband, Chris Welsh, on a ski weekend. I think it was about 1980. It involved so many misunderstandings. There was an amorous ski instructor, Chris pushing a car around a corner for a damsel in distress. He was locked out by his drunk partner he was sharing the chalet with. The security kicked in the door to the chalet. Snow kept coming in because it wouldn't close properly. I, on the other hand, was nice and warm in my own chalet and didn't worry about it at all. We went on our first date 3 days after that weekend, and we were married in 1984. And we had providential love. A big part of my life is my family, especially my children. There is Lance, he's 24, Rachel is 21, and Dean is 19. I'm very proud of them, and we're a very fortunate family because they actually like being with us. And they come away on holiday with us, as long as we pay. Long may that last. We also have a holiday place in Ramsgate, and they will either come down with us occasionally, or they go down by themselves. The neighbours are not so keen on that. They have parties till 2 or 3 in the morning. I remember reading that you never know how you'll react to a crisis. And 4 or 5 years ago, Chris and I were stopped at a set of lights when we noticed there was a group of people attacking a guy on the ground. Chris got on the phone to phone the police. I, on the mean hand, jumped out of the car, ran between them, and went, "You will stop now!" And they did. I was very lucky. But the guy they were beating up was actually drunk, And he got up and he started swearing them, and I turned around to him and I said, "You will stop that now. I can see you're very brave, but I didn't come here to have you do that, and you will just stop." Fortunately, the police came then and I just left. So that was good. On our 25th anniversary, Chris bought me a Saab convertible. I had mentioned once or twice that I thought it was a really beautiful, car. I think Chris would say that I nagged him for years. I adore driving it, especially when the roof is down, which isn't that often in London, but never mind. We went to Tuscany a few years ago and we met friends from New Zealand, and Italy is the place to drive a convertible. It was just fantastic. We also went to Cinque Terre. Now, I'd wanted to go there since I heard Maggie High give a speech here at Toastmasters. And I've got to say, it was as fantastic as Maggie said. My family have been pushing me to exercise more, and recently I joined a gym. I do 3 gym classes and a spinning class each week. And as extra exercise, I walk my dogs for an hour each morning. But I know I also need to cut down on the food and wine, but hey, no one can be perfect. I have a job I enjoy most of the time. I meet fantastic people most of the time. I have a wonderful husband and children most of the time. I enjoy dancing, but don't get many opportunities to do it most of the time. But I don't have many regrets. All in all, I've had a good life. Not perfect, but one I have enjoyed for the last 55 years. Some of you may be wondering about the title of the speech. I was born Florence Elizabeth de Silva, Feds. When I married, I changed to Few, Florence Elizabeth Welsh. And this speech has been a discovery for me as well as I hope for you.